All right, I'm going to get this kicked off. Thanks for joining, everybody. I am Maddie. I'm your host here. I'm just going to share my screen. Content only. Hope everybody can see that okay. Yeah, so TrainingPeaks Virtual theme here is maximizing TrainingPeaks Virtual for coaches, and we have George, who's the founder of TrainingPeaks Virtual, formerly Indie and Zhu, who's going to eventually, after I get done gabbing at or yapping at you for a while, talk you through his experience using TrainingPeaks Virtual in his business. So with no further ado, I'll just get it kicked off. This is the general outline. So as you can see, there's a lot of material to cover. I will try to be as brief as possible because I'm sure you'd rather grill George and also hear about G's experience. So I'll just keep moving it through. But to kick things off, I will um, invite George to answer a tricky question that he absolutely knocked out of the park last year. Um, and that is, why was Training Peaks Virtual built? Now, I put his answer from last year, just in case there was some sort of technical glitch. But we'll see how it's changed year over year. So George, take it away.
Yeah, I'm that the slide basically covers it. It's all about credibility. It's about having a platform that meets the needs of athletes and coaches. It's not a game, it's a serious training tool, something which helps develop physiology, which is relevant to outdoor cycling rather than it being just a spin class. That's the core fundamental behind why we built this in the first place. It's about having something that is credible and designed and built for athletes and for coaches.
Great. Yeah, as you'll see in part of this, I'm going to show some of Training Peak Virtual live, and you'll see some of the amazing like customizability you have within it. It's definitely not, um, I guess, something, it's not really a video gamified virtual experience. It's has incredible depth to it, which I think you'll appreciate as coaches. All right, moving on. So basics, if you're not familiar, if you have a if you have a Training Peaks account, you also have access, or Training Peaks Premium account, you also have access to Training Peaks Virtual, which is an online platform you can train and do group rides and events in. So to access it, everybody accesses it through their Training Peaks athlete account. So I'll just pull that up real quick here. So here is my Training Peaks athlete account. Cheesehead. So I logged in using my athlete credentials. Eventually, we may change that where coaches have their like a dedicated account, but for now, it would be your Training Peaks athlete account. And if you want to follow along in the background as I do this or demonstrate it, like please feel free. And if you run into any login trouble, I'm sure some of you coaches haven't logged into your athlete account in like 10 years or something. So you just have to do a password reset to get in, but you will have access then. One cool thing, so unlike some other platforms, like once you log in, all your thresholds and zones automatically connect. So to access that, you can click your athlete profile here. You'll go into my profile and it'll just pull all your information in here. And then it'll prompt and sync values. So there's a seamless information handoff between Training Peaks and Training Peaks Virtual. And then, yeah, so any workouts that you have in your athlete account, and this is, just keep in mind as you're watching this, this is also true for your athletes, of course. So any workouts that you prescribe for an athlete, that will automatically be available for an athlete to complete. And this is especially pertinent heading into the indoor season for your athlete to complete on Training Peaks Virtual that you put on the day. So, for example, I've got Cheesehead's horrific lineup of workouts here. She said today has an anaerobic workout scheduled for the 15th. You can see that in the athlete's Training Peaks calendar. And then if you flip over to here and look at workouts, you can see that that's ready and waiting to go here whenever she said works up the nerve to go do it. So just keep that in mind, and then you can, the athlete can go through and they can do it. And yeah, it's all seamless and aligned. So moving on, uh, I guess the best, from my standpoint, this is like more where I come into what like the theme I'm trying to overlay in this talk. It's just, I think, especially like in terms of AI and differentiating yourself and your coaching company, I think the biggest thing you can do as a coach is to work on building community. And Training Peaks Virtual is just really good at that through a couple, I would say three big ways. So the first is just building community in sort of a old school way, which is like create a jersey, like brand yourself. Because you can do that pretty easily. We're working on our turnaround here, but get your athletes and yourself riding with your kid virtually on Training Peaks Virtual. Because you don't necessarily think it always makes a difference, but certainly when you're doing events or your athletes are doing their workouts or whatever, they're interacting with other people and they see that kit, especially if you do a good job with the design, they notice, they take notice. And athletes like to be associated with a cool coaching company. So here are the steps for that. You just email virtual@trainingpeaks.com with your kit design, team name, um, yeah, your account details, and we try to turn that around for you really fast. Uh, in the after the webinar, I'll also be sending along some details because there's some specifics about that that are worth knowing, but don't worry about that right now. All right, moving on. Another way is just like managing your team. So once you get access to that, you can click your profile and organize your team. Now you can invite them. You can do this manually. You can send them a request. And within that portal, you can also customize like your team description, that sort of thing. And how this looks, now this is, keep in mind, this is a demo account. So I'll go in here and active team. Uh, let's see, view all teams. So this is how teams look in Training Peaks Virtual. So you can join teams if they're public, if they're private, you can't. And George, feel free to barrel me over if I'm saying something that's untrue. But this is gives you sort of an idea of what the appearance is or the UI within. And then you can directly from here, once you've submitted all your stuff, you can send your email directly to any of your athletes. And so this is probably like a big meaty part of it. And hopefully Zhu will like second this. Just like creating events as a part of community building is huge and it's really easy to do. So it all starts from the hub. So this portal is generally called the hub, and you just go over to events and you can sort of get it is kind of electric in here. Like you can see all of the things to join, just as soon as you jump in, and there's different competitions and rankings and cool rides. But probably what you're going to be focusing on most of all for your purposes as a coach is going to be creating your own event. So you just do that, you click add new, and we'll just call this test, and then make it test throwdown. Yeah. And so this is the general portal. And to sort of echo what George was saying about like professionalization and like really like rich, deep features, the like this is the initial thing you'll see when you set up. You can choose your route. You can choose distances. You can choose what kind of ride you have. It can be a group ride, it can be a group workout, races, that sort of thing. But this is all sort of the light stuff. You can get this going real fast. But then as soon as I click advanced options, you can just see, I mean, almost, especially as an educator, what I would consider an excessive amount of options. Like you can change the lighting, the weather, um, put in branding here, event entry requirements. You can put in bots that do different things that attack you, that don't attack you. So it's really cool and it's worth kind of immersing yourself. I really encourage every coach on here to you know, throughout the winter, uh, or actually all year round, maybe creating events and trying to get your athletes together. So that's how that looks. Um, and you can set the date, time, route, description, workout, anything. In execution, what you'll do is you'll schedule this and then you get this linker copy. And it might be a little bit hard to imagine, but especially I think it's useful. This is how I would do it. Yeah, you could like send out an email, but it's nice to create kind of a dynamic training plan within your coaching company. And if you want to do like mass communications to everybody, then you could just like drop that link into the dynamic plan calendar, and then that would get pushed to everybody. So a fun way to build community that way is you could just say, hey, thanks for being a part of my coaching company. We do a social ride every Wednesday. It's no drop. And there's the cool thing about stuff like this is, like I encounter this at Training Peaks, but sometimes Training Peaks employees will be like, yeah, we're gonna do a fun no drop lunch ride. Everybody wants to join. And then you join and you think it is no drop, except it's more like a blood curdling throwdown, and then you like barely get out of the parking lot before you're shredded by everybody, and it's not fun and nobody talks. Well, thanks to George's brilliance, you can totally change that dynamic, and there's features which we'll get to eventually where you can actually keep people together so you don't have this like blood and guts dynamic and it truly is social and fun. Um, so that's just one use case you can definitely use TPV for. All right, jump back in here. Hopefully, I would actually be pretty stunned if any of you are a part of our marketing or newsletters or email lists. Yeah, we came out with a really cool feature called GPX or My Routes feature. So how this works is you can go to any GPX file creator like GPX Studio or Ride with GPS. And if there's a route you wish to ride, you create that in that third-party software, grab that GPX file, and then what you do is you go into your athlete account and add that to your routes library. Now, one of my favorite climbs of all time, my wife's from New Mexico. I like New Mexican road riding. So my favorite climb is the Sandia Crest out of Albuquerque, so I loaded that up in here. And as you can see, if I go back to TPV, then want to do a little bit more configuring here, can go into here. And what am I going to do? I want to do my routes. Oh, it should be working. What did I do wrong, George?
I suspect that you started TPV up before you uploaded the file. If you do it the other way around, it'll be fine. You
There
need to
you go.
upload the file first and then start TPV.
There you go. See, we're dynamic. We're constantly troubleshooting, even in live webinars. Well, anyway, you can release or you can create your own routes, um, or ride world routes that we've provided in some world famous places, upload them to TPV, and then create events that you can insert your athletes in. Now that's great socially, but as I think Ju's going to also take us through eventually, it's also an excellent training tool that you can use to do race-like simulations ahead of time to really um, help your athletes do their build properly. Uh, Out of sensitivity for time, I won't dwell on this too much, but I was talking about some of the event customizations that you can do as part of building community through TPV. So while I encourage you to try to make things as public as possible, as friendly as possible when you create events, you can have access codes for your private and recurring events. And again, all of this is just accessible in the advanced options in here. Pace ride group features. So remember I was saying how I wish we could do all of our Training Peaks employee rides on TPV. It's because there's features like rubber banding features to keep things steady, and eliminating chaotic surges or attacks. So it just keeps everybody within the same band so it doesn't turn into a drop ride when it's not supposed to be. And yeah, Another cool thing is as a team owner, you actually don't have to, you can participate in events that you put on without having to pedal yourself. So you can truly like be a coach and not have to be as fit as your athletes to keep up with them because there's DS modes. So you can jump in and just spectate without having to pedal with them. And of course, that's in Georgia style. It's all configurable and you can get all kinds of different angles. And while you're doing so, you can also chat. Um, so that's really neat. And then there's also designated commissar modes as well. And, if somebody is, it's hard to imagine this happening, but if somebody's being unruly or whatever, like ruining the vibe of the group ride or whatever event you're in, you have the power to, the godlike power to remove them or not. So yeah, that's another neat feature. All right. That's enough from me for the time being. Let's just jump into our special panelist, Ju. Am I saying this right? I've been
Gui,
coaching on this.
Gui.
Guy. All right, there
Yeah.
you go.
Thank
So
you.
excuse my murdering. I've barely ever been out of Colorado. It's not my fault.
Totally fine. It's a hard name to pronounce, I guess.
But yeah, Summit head coach and founder, well credentialed, based in Boulder, but based after talking to you, it doesn't seem like you spend all that much time here. You're kind of zipping around the world and you're coaching triathletes all over. And this is your TPV story. Yeah, take it away.
Thanks, Maddie. Thanks, Maddie and the TP crew for letting me talk this afternoon with you folks and pretty much share my experience on how important actually TPV has been for my coaching business. I'm Gui Muglia, a head coach and founder of Summit Coaching. Currently, my business is 100% online. Coaching clients in the US, Brazil, Europe, UK, and even Middle East. And that's why I would say the first point why TPV is so important for me. So, coaching guys all over the world, currently, I face myself dealing with all different kinds of training conditions. So, some folks live in very uh, flat areas, some folks live in hilly areas, and other folks live in the middle. But not everybody has the uh, privilege of like when you are in Boulder and you go east or west, you go in the mountains, you go east, you go into the flats. So I would say the game changer technical part of TPV for me is that it allows my athletes to train at in-course elevation or profile, flat, hillier, rolling, mixed, wherever they are in the world. I'll give you guys a practical example. This next coming weekend, we have Saturday and Sunday, I'm in Portugal, in São Ponte, Portugal, out of the coast of Portugal in Cascais, and I have one of my athletes racing there. It's a plane pilot from Emirates. So this guy is based out of Dubai. Uh, Super like cool, nice roads, no potholes, super fast, but he has no hills in there at all. Um, uh, PPV allowed this guy to mimic some of his course challenges when racing in Portugal. So basically, we could mimic the first portion of the course where he will face some rolling hills, and that helped me to fine tune better his race pace water strategy, and he could have a better feel for what he's gonna face on coming race day. Another super cool example when I saw Maddie sharing his TPV course profiles library that he had Alpe d'Huez in there. So I have a group of guys going next summer to race the Alpe d'Huez triathlon, which is like extremely specific, maybe as most specific as we can get as course planning, right? Before you get to the actual Alpe d'Huez attack climb, the 12 kilometers at 10%, whatever, you have three other TDF courses to climb before you get there. So it's a great opportunity for athletes to have the chance to actually mimic that into their training before they actually get to the race. If you don't live somewhere in France, you cannot get there to experiment the race course before, and you can live down in Brazil, in São Paulo, and you can I actually have a guy from São Paulo. That's why I'm giving the example. This guy's flying to France next summer to do the race, and over the winter for us, summer for them down southern hemisphere. I'll be eventually a couple times along the next couple of months managing his program to fit that kind of riding into his weekend long rides. So yeah, I think it's a game changer for the athletes themselves because they can experiment before what they're gonna do on race course, but also for us coaches to offer that kind of experience for them. The second thing that I also would like to highlight, especially for us coaches, like I think it's really something that adds to as assets to our businesses is the social aspect of it. Group workouts, it's a great way to get people together. People who even live in different areas, they can connect themselves, like a guy in Brazil, guy in Europe, guy in the US. We create a team ride together, and they can kind of like, oh, this guy's on the same team as myself, and they start following each other on social media, and that creates that feel of community. Even if you run like myself, your business 100% online. It doesn't mean it's online or hybrid or whatever that you cannot have this sense of community into your coaching program. The other cool thing that I experiment to, especially with folks who live in very busy urban areas. So lately, I have been getting a good wave of clients from Brazil, and from I lived there a big part of my life, and it's really sometimes hard to, especially for beginners, to start on road bikes or tri bikes and to get to ride with safety. So because they never ridden a road bike before, they don't feel comfortable, and they say, "Hey, coach, I don't know if I should start now because I'm start training. I'm not confident on my ability to go outside." And you can put those guys indoors on TPV, but in they can still start working on a more structured program. The other cool thing is that you can bring different type of athletes' abilities into the same kind of group, right? So you can have a group of 5, 8, 10 athletes inside that same ride doing different workouts. So this is also a pretty cool tool to have, and athletes will be bonding with themselves. And the other nice thing that I like to do is if you have different tiers of coaching, and you have like a one-to-one client that you coach online or overseas. If this guy, for example, has a key workout before like a big race, you can say, hey, dude, let's do this workout together, before we send you off to this big event. So yeah, all kinds of good things, like Manny said, having the team kit in there for sure, huge, helps a lot for visibility, for marketing, for advertisement, for the whole community feeling thing as well. Like athletes like to wear their team kits virtually into the rides as well, into the virtual world. So that's super cool. What else? Let me see if I'm missing anything I'd like to say here as well. One thing that Matt said too that is nice to talk is that TPV allow we as the ride leader or the ride founder to have multiple ride leaders into that ride, and that's a nice, let's say, a plan B to have, because I had one time I was leading a group ride online, my power went down, and there you go, your leader is gone. So if you have a second guy leading with you into that session, it's a cool feature that you can have someone else also leading with you, and if something happens, you have to stop for whatever reason, the ride keeps going on, and everybody keeps having the fun. The rubber banding feature, that's the no drop popular name, I would say, also pretty cool, also part of the tools that allow you to have people with different abilities into the same ride. So we as coaches, I'm sure pretty much 100% of everyone watching today, we have, from beginners to advanced athletes, those guys can interact together. That feature also is it's a must have. And yeah, I would say, to conclude my 2 cents on all that, um, having TPV as a high quality software that me as a coach I can rely, as a big tool for my clients, and big stability with the software. Never had any problems with freezing screens or stuff like that. Of course, you are it depends on internet, but the software itself super stable. Lots of cool tools to use, lots of things to study and to go really deep into details if you are that kind of guy, and that's the thing that I think that can just add a lot of value to your weekly coaching.
That was great. I totally forgotten about that. If your athlete has a big benchmark workout they're doing, that you could effectively like jump in with them, spectate, and sort of like, give them positive or negative reinforcement, whatever is going to help them the most. That's a fun idea, fun use case that I'd forgotten about. How often would you say you do that?
I haven't done that yet. Most times I like to just to write myself as well and get into the action. But yeah, this is a great tool because there's one day you are I don't know, physically you are sick, you have a cold, when you have posted this right online and it can be part of it because you are not feeling great. Then you can just expect it, or even if you again, it's an important session for a couple of clients who are doing Ironman California and you want to really go deep into the details of that session, like power, all the other TrainingPeaks physiological features, and you just want to expectate. I think this is a game changer. Great to have available for us.
Brilliant. Cool. Thanks for sharing your experience. Anybody have any questions for G right off the bat? Just drop it in the chat. I think is the easiest way. I don't see anything pop up immediately. I'll go on to the next part, which is just ask George anything. So this is your chance to, and I'm really excited to see how he does. This is your chance to stump George. So if you have any questions right off the bat, yeah, let loose. Here's one for you. Oh, one for you, G. You mentioned being able to have multi-athletes doing different workouts in the same group ride. How does that work? And I guess that can be a split between George or G.
Yeah, I will pass the baton to George as the technical expert here. I think he'll have a more complete answer technically for that.
Nice.
Yeah, so when you create an event, you can create a group workout, and as part of the group workout, you can select what workout you want your athletes to go and do. So that can either be a specific workout, which is either one of the built-in ones or maybe one of your own custom ones, or you can select what we call rider's choice. And that will open up the ride for each athlete to select their own workout to do during that group workout. And in fact, actually, it's configurable as you ride. So an athlete can do two workouts strung one after the other within that time, and swap and change and repeat intervals or skip intervals or pause or whatever. But it's a block of time where athletes can choose to do what they like.
Very cool. Okay, from Zach Adams. Will we see running added at some time in the future?
That's something we're certainly looking at, yes.
Okay, next. If you organize a group ride and someone doesn't start with you, will they be able to join the group?
Yes. So if somebody joins late, they will automatically be teleported into the middle of the pack or wherever everybody else is. And then they'll resume the ride at that time when they join.
Nice. And just to circle back, Dean has a pertinent question. Does the rubber band feature work when you have athletes doing different workouts?
Yes, absolutely. So what happens is that there's this virtual rubber band that sits around the entire body of athletes. And if you can imagine a rubber band sort of centered around the middle person, then those far ahead get pulled backwards, and those lagging behind get pulled forwards, and that keeps everybody together. But more than that, you can also configure the strength of that band dynamically as the group ride or group workout progresses. So you might start the event with quite a strong rubber band strength to keep everybody together, and then maybe the last 10 minutes or so you reduce the strength down and let everyone rip.
Okay, George, you're doing great. I'm going to pass one to G for a second to give you a little break. Speaking of recovery, G, do you use Zoom or similar to see your athletes on the trainer while riding on TPV?
No, I experiment that one time. It was not at least among my group, very popular feature. I think because some people like to mimic a TPV on Apple TV and put on their big screen. Other people put on a tablet and they have some sort of other movie going on their TV. And I don't know. For my group, we don't use that kind of feature.
It's frowned upon, is the answer. All right, next up, um, from Paul, is a GPX route only accessible by the creator of the route? I'm assuming you're talking about my routes.
So it's only accessible to the person who's uploaded it when creating the event. But once the event is created, then everybody obviously gets that GPX file in order for them to go and ride it.
But that's not then available to them after the fact,
Correct.
right?
Yes. So
Hey, Matt. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Uh,
yeah, GPX files that you upload to your own account stay with you. Obviously, if you then make them public as being part of an event, other people can ride it as part of the event, but it's your GPX file and isn't made public.
Right. Yeah. And just to refresh everyone's memories, this is you create the GPX file outside of TrainingPeaks, the third party, and then you obtain that file of whatever route you want to create. And then within your athlete account, there's a My Routes library, and you upload your GPX to that, name it, and then that syncs with TrainingPeaks Virtual. I just see a lot of questions in the chat about, hey, can I create a simulation of forces such as Alpe d'Huez? Yes, you can create, well, increasingly a simulation of just about anything. However, there are certain, there can be some technical challenges because some people are getting cute and doing like an infinite staircase or like like, I don't know, like a Warhol type, like an impossible architecture type road. So, yeah, but basically anything. Elster says, if a rider stops pedaling, does the rubber band break?
No, they will get towed along. If they actually stop, then obviously they will stop. But also there's a facility within group rides and group workouts to teleport forwards. So if you find yourself a couple of kilometers off the back because you've had to have a break for whatever reason, then you can just hit a button and you'll teleport forward to rejoin the pack.
Cool. All right, this is longer from Phil. I've yet to upload and try my own GPX route file. How does it display on the screen when riding, and what does the athlete see? Assuming you cannot animate every single route that we upload. So is it just a quote floating road that just shows corners and elevation, similar to what RGT used to do a while back?
No, it's considerably better than that. So it will auto generate all the terrain around you. So if you're in the mountains, you'll see the edge of the mountain cliff. You'll see distant mountains from nearby, and it will look like a full vibrant world. There'll be trees and fences and birds and whatever else there is there, flowers and plants and everything else to keep it as an interesting ride, as well as a physiologically accurate ride to the real world experience that you would get on that road.
Nice. Appreciate that. Okay, G, how do you coach a session when underway? Do you have a chat or Discord channel to communicate?
Great question. I was about to add that to my last answer. So basically, TPV has a chat message channel, and again, within my group, we found out that just having those that kind of channel for communication is more practical for the athletes. And TPV prominently displays the messages from the leader on the screen. So I just put the instructions I want out there, and the guys will just follow it.
Excellent. Thanks for that. Ooh, here's an open-ended one for G. Tell me about the Training Peaks hub on the phone. Or sorry, for George, not you, G.
Two different G's. So yes, so we have a Training Peaks Hub app which you can download on Android and iOS. That allows you to do all the things that you would expect to do to interact with TPV while you're riding, but from the convenience of your phone, rather than needing to kind of go out and sweat all over a keyboard. So, for example, that will allow you to do chat. You can type away on your phone and it will just send the chat messages into the virtual world, but also basic control mechanisms. So you can turn left and right and do U-turns. You can adjust various things. You can see your stats. You can see where you are in the world on a map. Everything that you would expect from that kind of app.
This one's for Maddie. Is there an auto sync connection to Strava? Yes, there is. George,
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
yes, there is.
So within your profile, there's a section called Connected Accounts. Just click on that, and there's an option to go connect to Strava directly.
And just to get ahead of questions about audio chat, that's currently not available. It's just text, correct?
Correct. Right now it's text. And as G said earlier, you can do that both so either as a rider within a ride, so you as a coach can join your athletes and ride along with them and chat with them. But you could also do that as a spectator. So you can let your athletes do the hard riding while you do while you're completely focused on the coaching. So you just join the event as a spectator, and then you have full access to chat to the athletes while they are riding. That option to chat as a spectator can be is fully configurable. So if you as a coach don't want spectators chatting, then you can turn that off. But equally, if you just want to focus on the coaching and not riding yourself, then turn it on and you can chat away.
One cool thing I forgot to mention is that you can create an event, but then you can actually broadcast it, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So TPV is set up to be able to do full broadcast of events. So you can completely replace all of the UI. You can replace all of the graphics. So, for example, like I know when if you're watching the tour or what have you, and you've got branded logos and branded different fonts and different color schemes and so on. You can just replace everything in all the UI in TPV and replace it with your own for a completely custom broadcast of your event.
Yeah. That's I'd love to see some stats on how often that is utilized, but it's a really cool thing coaches should keep in mind. For marketing purposes, it'd be pretty neat. Like, for example, if G was like, I've got this rider who's gonna go do this, we're gonna do a sim together, and I'm going to, um, chat to them and encourage them on, this it's happening at this time. You can join in and watch me coach live or something. Could be a really good demonstration of like what they might get out of a coaching relationship with you.
Yeah,
potentially.
the core purpose behind it was precisely about that branding. And not only can you change all the branding within the virtual world, so all the roadside barriers and flags and arches and all that kind of stuff, brand that with your own coaching companies' logos and color schemes. But using that broadcast mode, you can also change all the overlay graphics as well. Yeah, get rid of all the Training Peaks branding and just have it all your own.
Yeah. All right, here's this might stump you, George. Have you added any other trainers for compatibility? I was a CompuTrain beta tester for RacerMate 1, but then that dynasty died with CompuTrainer. I still have friends that still have those older trainers. Right now, they can only use Zwift or Trainer Road.
If somebody has the API definition for a CompuTrainer, I would love to add support for it. As far as I'm aware, that's been lost in the mists of time. But yeah, if there's a way of accessing that and it's documented somewhere, then we will add support for it.
Translation, Kenneth, bring it on, but it's all on you. Um,
Oh, Tim, brilliant. Yes, but please let's have the API info. That'd be fantastic.
oh, Tim's doing the work for you. Um, okay, this is very specific. Does the network adapter for Wahoo Kicker work? Whoa, that's going fast. Work for TPV.
Yes, so TPV supports AMP Plus and Bluetooth and Wi-Fi network connections. So that's not only the Wahoo Wi-Fi network connection, but other trainers also support that same method of a direct Wi-Fi connection.
Great. Let's see. For those who sell training plans, is it possible to create a pathway for athletes who purchase the plans to become a member of a team club on TrainingPeaks Virtual to create the positive community effect you mentioned? If so, what are the steps to do so? I'm thinking the answer is yes.
Yes. So you would create a team, and then you would add those people who purchase the training plan onto that team, and then they would all have access to the same kit and stuff like that.
Great. And if you have like a reoccurring event series, say, um, you could customize that for the link to put in like the training plan um, description or somewhere in the training plan to be like this evergreen, like infinitely reoccurring thing that always happens on Wednesday for training plan purchasers or something.
Yeah, so the way that we do event creation, and that there's a risk with a recurring event that it goes stale and somebody forgets about it, and then the event calendar gets clogged up with millions of events. But what we do is have a very easy copy and paste system. So you create your event once, and then from then on, you can just click a couple of buttons to copy and paste that event as many times as you like. And so all you need to do is update the time and date of the event.
Cool. Okay. Ooh, this one might be spicy. TPV was built for honest e-racing. Now that Zwift stepped away from the quote elite esports, is there any chance TP will host high-end money prize events in the future?
So the way that yes, it's the short answer before we go any further. But philosophically, it's really important to make the distinction between how TPV views itself and how the other platforms operate. So the other platforms look at elite racing as something that they have total control over, whereas TPV looks at itself as being an infrastructure provider. So we are the equivalent of the French roads ministry crossed with Tissot and the UCI for commissarying. We are not event organizers ourselves, but we provide the infrastructure to event organizers to put on events. So if anybody wants to put on an event, a high level, elite level event, then we can provide the roads, we can provide the infrastructure, the automatic commissarying of those events. But the actual promotion of the events, we don't want to kind of step on organizers' toes. We want to help independent organizers promote them as being the people who are putting on these events. So it's a slightly different approach. It's more like the traditional cycling approach, where an event is a collaboration between the providers of the roads, the event organizers, sponsors, and so on. And that's the model that we're pursuing, rather than the model that other platforms are pursuing, where they just do everything. And yeah, it's a different approach, but with the same end result.
Great answer. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of questions in here about adding GPX files to a folder. So I believe, and we'll link this again post webinar, but once you add a GPX file to your route library, that's not actually executable as a from your workouts tab. You need to create an event, and then from there you will specify the route as the GPX file you uploaded and named, and from there then you can write it. But at this time, it's not immediately accessible as a workout. And we have a video that really shows this process that I believe Hannah linked, but um, Hannah can link it again, and we'll put it in
Yeah,
the.
there's a help article and a YouTube video that I dropped in. Also, we'll be sure to send those out during the follow-up too. So you'll have access to them if you don't get them in the chat.
All right. From Nick, the team kit template online isn't editable. What am I doing wrong? That would be for George.
So the team kit is it's just an image file. It's a ping image file. So you should be able to edit it in any art software. If you're a Photoshop person, then that's fine. But equally, you can go edit it in Microsoft Paint if that's your thing.
Yeah. And also just to back up, so like Barbara said, if I'm adding a GPX file into my athlete account, how does that translate to coach account? It doesn't. You're only interacting with TrainingPeaks Virtual currently with athlete accounts. There's no TrainingPeaks Virtual doesn't recognize coach accounts at this time. So I think most coaches would just log in using their athlete account.
Yeah, it's really important here to stress that you only need a premium athlete account to actually ride within TrainingPeaks Virtual. So a basic athlete account can still log into TrainingPeaks Virtual. It can still create events. You can spectate events. You can do all your coaching through a basic athlete account. The only thing that you need a premium account for is actually riding.
Great. Okay, from Shannon. If an athlete's smartwatch does not have the function to connect to a watt bike power meter in a local gym, can TP Virtual be in place of the watch for power-based workouts? And will the power data upload to TrainingPeaks the same as it would if the athlete connected as compatible watch to the watt bike?
Probably. TrainingPeaks Virtual will connect to virtually anything aside from the CompuTrainer, but we'll sort that out.
But maybe soon.
Exactly. But it will connect to pretty much all smart trainers, smart bikes, gym bikes. It will connect to loads of different power meters, to heart rate monitors, to O2 sensors, so for muscle oxygen levels. It will connect temperature sensors. Yeah, it's got very wide set of compatibility with what it will connect to.
Like pretty absurd. It almost connects to too much. However, Silva said, I also have an old smart trainer kinetic InRide, and I was told from TPV support my trainer doesn't transmit as a broadcasting, so it cannot use TPV. Maybe this is an important point to drive home. It needs to be able to broadcast.
Yeah, so I know this one specifically, but the kinetic InRide broadcasts its data encrypted. Kinetic have since gone bankrupt, and uh, we can't contact them to be able to get the decryption algorithm. So again, if anybody is out there, if it's documented anywhere, then please let us know, and we'll very happily add support to it.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. It's encrypted. So Silva, you have a monumental task in front of you. You need to contact ex-employees and get the keys to the encryption algorithm. Um, how do you set up a group session with coach riders from your athlete account? From Paul, how do you set up a group session with coach riders from your athlete account? This is kind of a basic one, but bears repeating.
So you would create so you would log in with your athlete account. You would create an event, whether it's a group ride or group workout. As a result of creating the event, you would get a URL, as we saw in the demo to begin with. You would then share that URL with your athletes however you liked, and then they could go sign up and join it.
Yeah, I would just encourage you that like we're not solving cancer, so like go experiment with TPV. Like the worst that can happen is, somebody joins a ride that no one's in, or yeah, it's play with it, mess with the configurations. Yeah, enjoy. And George is always adding his. I almost wince because every week I'll see a new release, and there's like a new really cool thing you can do that I have to be aware of. So it's almost hard to keep up. What was the email to customize kits? It's virtual at trainingpeaks.com, I believe.
Yes.
From Paul, George, can you fix elevation anomalies for an uploaded GPX file? Example, avoid seeing avatars riding through the underground or halfway under road surface.
Yes, so the next release has already got a whole bunch of fixes in, which significantly improves that. That should be out in the next couple of days. And yeah, we will keep on working on improving the way in which GPX files are rendered.
Thank you. Quick one from Claire. Love the new Zen mode. Can you please make the box sizes adjustable? For many, it's hard to see small font boxes, and screen size boxes would be awesome. Maybe just to let everyone know what Zen mode is, since I didn't mention.
Yeah, so TPV allows you to do workouts in 3 different modes. So one is where you're in the virtual world with everyone else, and you can ride around and chat and be part of the wider community. There's Zen mode, which basically gives you the virtual world to go ride around, but hides everyone else. So you've got your own private virtual world to ride around in complete peace and tranquility. But there's also focus mode as well. So for those people who prefer an interface with just the numbers, just your workout graph, we'll turn the camera off and you'll just get a black screen with all your numbers and all your data on it, so you can just focus in on doing your workout.
Yeah, that's a cool setting. All right, I'm gonna have you answer one more question because we're coming to time. Can you create a TT event that is open to join to athletes at different times of the day and then have the results displayed later? That's from Stefan.
Not currently, but it's a good idea. So the way that you do it at the moment is that you would create a single event once, and then you would copy and paste it and just change the time for multiple times through the day. So it's a tiny little bit of effort more than just having a single event, but it takes seconds, literally just a few seconds to create multiple events.
Great. I think with that, I'm sorry to say that I don't think George was stumped, not even with CompuTrainer 1. So another W in your column, George. Thanks everyone for joining. I just have some brief, oh, and thanks, G, of course. Um, I really appreciate your contribution. And just a couple of announcements. This is being recorded. We're going to send out follow-up information within a week, and we'll try to answer all the questions that we didn't get to. There is the next, I just wanted to let you guys know as coaches, next free for all Tuesday is available 11/4. So tell your athletes, mark that on your calendars, and that's free for all. Tuesday is just any athlete, whether they're if they're basic, they can ride that day for free just to experience TrainingPeaks Virtual. So it's a great day to maybe experiment with building that community on TPV. Yeah, that's all from me. Thanks everybody for joining.